Okay, we're back with VReps, and I'm trying out this Loom software too that's doing this screen recording. And so we're going to do a defensive player development drill and show you the platform that we use to work on these concepts, especially with a team where part of our defensive tactical approach is we want to try and limit the amount of open threes, open spot up threes that we give the other team. So this is quick setup mode, and so I'm gonna try and see if this works. I'm gonna do point guard here, shooting guard, small forward. Click a player to give him the ball. Boom. Let's do this. Let's do it like this. Oops. Okay. So now we're all set up, and this is how I would set it up if I had three defensive players. But this guy could be a coach as well, and you could put just a player here in these two spots. A lot of times before practice, when I'd get four guys ready to go to work, we'd put two players here, and just have two coaches. Have a coach with the ball and a coach here in this blind advantage situation. So, the blind advantage we've talked about before, the defender's turned facing the rim, and the offensive player has the option of which way he drives to start the drill, and the defense has to respond accordingly in offense as well. So for this drill, say you have four players and you're the coach out here by yourself, which is the way that it was often for me. Is what I would do is I would spin the ball out to myself with my back to the basket, and then as I caught it, they would have to be reading me from their spots on the floor here. See if I can draw on this. Yeah. So, oops. So whatever, from their spots here and here, they're reading me. As I spin the ball out, I turn, and then this is what we work on. So if I open up and I'm attacking baseline here, and I'm driving here on this baseline attack, we work on this guy coming over to trap the box, or be early here and help, and he's the low man. He's responsible here for keeping this ball away from the rim, stopping the ball before I can get to this high percentage layup. So, oops, how do I get out of that? Move this back a little bit. And so what happens is a lot of times this guy's natural instinct is to drop as well. And so now you're starting to get this everyone collapse to the paint type of defense, which, now as I'm the offensive player driving, if I see these two guys in the paint, it's kind of a pick your poison. I'm going to be able to pass out here. And how do I make this pass? I guess I got to go into the next part of it. Yeah, then I'm going to pat. Oh no, I can go back here and pass. Yeah, I can pass it. So I'm going to kick out to this guy most likely if this guy's engaged all the way over here. And so what we tell the guys, how we prime them is, we want you to be in here early. You're the nail help. But as the ball is driven baseline, now your responsibility shifts into splitting the difference between these two guys. So I guess before this pass even happens, maybe I'll make the pass wait a little bit. Can I do that? Yeah. Well, so he's reading them, he's splitting the difference, and then here probably take first pass out, call this an X out. He's closing all the way out, and this guy then is closing out to him. And because he's taking this out of a kick out, he's thinking shoot or pass. And so he can shoot or he can pass. If he passes, then this guy can shoot, pass, or drive. So that's that's option one. Let's call this, let's get out of this. Back to play. Yeah. Call this PD defense. Weakside eye. And then, so let me see if I can. Oops. I don't want that. I delete that. Sorry about this. But, so anyways, yeah, so here, then I'll redo it as if I drive middle here. So now when I attack middle, I want this, I'm going to talk about this guy, being in dually position, playing both the drive and his man, being disruptive, different technical things about which hand does he want to deflect with, trying to make this a bait and steal, and you're just basically, you have to impact the ball, or whatever your tactics are, whatever you want to emphasize defensively. Maybe you're saying if the ball's being dribbled at you, it doesn't matter. We're going to let this guy turn the corner, and we're not going to help. And, we're going to recover here into this. And then I'm in early, but as the ball is coming towards me, maybe we're teaching this guy's inching out towards his man, recognizing flat drives. And again, I can pass this quickly to him, the quick, early, easy pass. I can skip this pass to the corner and create this closeout right here. And they're just basically he has a totally different responsibility based on which way I drive at the start of this drill. And like I said, you can build it with the blind advantage platform, or you can just, like I said, I just did it by reading which way was I going to turn. I'd forward pivot going to the baseline, I'd forward pivot going to the middle. I'd inside pivot both ways. So trying to prime, also trying to read body mechanics and seeing what's coming next, trying to emphasize a little bit of perception and trying to emphasize this is what I would consider defensive IQ training. It's just putting them in the position repeatedly that is going to be advantageous to our defensive tactics. And like I said, like I talked about in the beginning, I think this guy, especially on these baseline drives, this guy, his awareness is, he's oftentimes sucked in, or his just attention is there with his back turned, and this cut is so devastating. Whereas if he's able to realize that as this guy goes to trap the box, he's fanning out, splitting the difference now between these two 3-point shooters. He's going to be able to see this in front of him as well. So as this guy cuts, he's going to have greater awareness on that as well. So that's my drill. That's a little bit of player development defense with the weak side eye. Hope you enjoyed.